Okay, hopefully this is working okay. So if you can see here, I started sanding down this stuff. I'm going to sand these parts too. So just wanted to record a little bit of that. So we got done the metal here, we still got to get here. So I might have to get the other brush out for that. Doesn't look like it's creeped in over there. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm back with this thing, this attachment. This is better at getting the rust that's deep in there. This side is this part's all sanded down. There's a little bit there that I got, but next it's here and here. There's a little bit of spots here. I mean, I might just have to repaint a lot of the door. This is from a couple years ago, and I didn't know what I was doing, and now I know a lot more. Obviously, I'm not a professional, but next we're going to get these parts, as mentioned. Sandpaper. It's important when you're holding this that you hold it, like use like this foam thing, so you get more of an even pressure, and that you don't over sand in certain areas. But yeah, here goes nothing. To go at it with this for a minute. Okay, I already started on these, on this part, but my sandpaper is it's just spreading this rust color everywhere, so. Well, I think that's a good starting point, at least. Yeah, so here we go. So it's important to, wipe off the dust and everything with some isopropyl alcohol and a cloth. In this case, one of the kind you get at the hardware section, specifically for cars. You can also kind of dent the area too, so that when you put in the body filler, it has more space it can fill. Just like. Okay, so you're sanded down. Next is to body fill in this case. So I'm not doing the whole, you opened this for the other part of my car that I did a couple weeks ago. But I don't think I need the fiberglass one. Pretty sure I'm good. This is just regular Bondo body filler, M3M, sorry. Just use something like this to help pry it open. There we go. This stuff's really stinky too, so fair warning on that. I'm not going to need a ton though. Got to move really quick. So you go straight gloves here. Okay, so you get this on here really flat and spread out. Well, In this case, I'm just going to go across like this. I think that's going to be plenty. And you got to mix this stuff together. Make sure you don't get crap in it like I am. Again, I don't have a lot of it, but I also don't have a lot of time once this stuff mixes in together. So it's just like a matter of putting it on as quickly as possible. So, without further ado, rather unceremoniously. All right. This probably mixed in well enough for our purposes anyway. So, right here, and this right here, hold it still, more or less. Okay. I certainly debated doing this today when I started sanding, but fuck it, I guess. We're doing it live. Okay. Yeah, so that. I think it's right here. Right here. You can see it. Hard to spread. You can grab some. So, there you go. So, this is dry. We'll like instruments. And then stand down. Okay, I'll just bottom off here. You can let it dry. I'll get it off me. Oh, that's actually. So, I'm going to spot there as well. Just one over there you go. That one got the partner. And right out here. Yeah, that's basically it. It's the same friends and paint. So, a day later, this is all dried. So now we're gonna hit it with some 80 grit sandpaper, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so I went through with my sander, and I got a bunch of these little spots that had rust forming on them. So basically eventually I'm gonna do this whole door, I guess. Well, at least this part of it and this bottom part. So yeah, I went through, sanded down those little rusty bits, and that's just crud. Yeah, so it's looking a lot better now. So we'll go over it with some hand sanding with a better, finer grit, and then we'll do some spot treatment on it. So I'm taking the spongy bit off the sander because I don't want to hit this with the full-on sander because it's again, it's way more powerful. So I'm going to hit it with some 240 grit and just kind of smooth it out a little bit more. And then we'll clean it up. And then we'll do the spot filler and sand that down. So, but this allows me to give it more even pressure across. And I'll make it drop. Okay. So I got it sanded down more. Yeah, it's gonna vacuum now. Or blow, actually. Okay. So now, I've also done some prepping for primer. Did some sanding up here. I figured if I'm hitting most of the door, may as well. So I'm just gonna just give a little wipe down with this. Here. So, all right. So with, and this stuff you have to work pretty quick with because it's already sealed. Like it's already got like its sealant and all that in it. Just get a little bit on here, light it over. Light noise today. Okay. Let me see here. Get a little up here. Come in that direction. You got a lot of stuff because it hardens quick. Just a little watching there. I don't want to stay. Look at that. Okay. Maybe let it be more. Just a wee bit. Just a draft part, that's right. Yeah. Look at birds. That's also too. That's right. Something. Anyway, that's that part of it. I'll do all the now, so give me a little size. Okay, more sanding. There you go. I think over with. What's this? It's for everybody. 240. That's the other one. Look good. Okay, that's pretty good. I think now we'll go time and we'll right back over because it's raining pretty long. Okay, so I've already prepped for all of this. I got some Rust-Oleum primer. I used it before, it works great. When I did this part of my car. I heated it first by putting it in a container of warm tap water, hot tap water, and let it sit for a while. And I've just been shaking it for a minute. Make sure you always follow the instructions on here. And we'll try and do like 3 coats. And that'll probably be it for today. Because I want the primer to dry really good, and we're probably going to get some rain today. So let's get into it, shall we? Ooh, too much in one spot. Probably don't want drips. Okay. Mistakes happen, and that's okay. Well, I got some here too, but I had some drips. So I'm hitting it a little too hard on my initial coat because I don't want drips. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I don't want it to be super noticeable. So we'll try that again. How's it looking so far? Not perfect, but better than it did. And the primer will protect it when it does rain. So that way we don't have to worry about more rust forming. Okay, so I've gone through, I've done some more coating with the primer. I think the coverage is overall pretty good. I might give it one more go, especially right here, because that was the last one I got. But otherwise, it's turning out, and we'll be able to sand it the next day or two, and go from there. Okay, so it's 2 days later. I let this dry, the primer filler, and now it's time to sand it down. We're going to use 600 grit. Ooh, and not fall over. Oh gosh, we got to make sure first that you clean the areas. I made the mistake when I first did this in the other section not to let the primer dry. Make sure that we all dust too. All right, now we're painting. This is the paint color or can I'm using. Does a decent job, but you got to shake it really good, and there's always a chance that there might be some more glitter or metallic sparkles or whatever deposited in certain areas. So it's good to like put this in a container of hot tap water, the hottest tap water you can get, and then let that sit for a little while to kind of like loosen up the paint a bit. This is can I already opened. I have another can that I just got sitting in there in case this one runs out during this, which there's a good chance it will. But yeah, we'll get going on it right now. Okay. Make sure you shake this, like, follow the instructions in the can. Make sure you shake it good. I have this thing as well, which I don't know. Let's see. Okay, kind of got it. I'm gonna like it first. This is going to make it easier. Pressurize. So I'll get something real quick. Keep it there. Come on, Chris. See, it's already starting to have problems there. Probably a little too thick. Yeah, well, that's it for that. The previous shot was not supposed to be artistic and out of focus. It's just the camera that I defaulted to, and I forgot to change it. But this one, it works because it's in focus here. So while it's painting, I'm just going through and touching up little spots like this. I think for somebody who went to school for art, that would have a little more finesse. But my hands shake pretty bad. So that'll at least take care of that for now. And I'm sure there's some other places I can get too. I think I tried to spray this part, like you can see, like it drips a bit there. And it didn't really stick very good, so we'll just try it with this and see how it goes. Probably going a little thicker here because it is just bare plastic and it's very dark. Clean up some of the globbing. Don't need so much of that. And, you know, little dots below it. This camera is ridiculous. It's like you can only do tilt shift settings or something. I don't know. Something got busted on it. It's an old phone. It's an S20 Ultra. So, and when I had it, that camera, the main one, started doing that probably about a year or so in having it. My S21 is great though. My S23 is great too. I don't have any issues. Except for battery life, but that's just kind of expected with these things. And it's a pretty decent match. Obviously, it's not going to be, it's not super smooth like you'd like it to be, but it's better than it just being bare. So, you know, Whatever. Okay. Time to do a second coat. Let's get to it. Get there. So something I worked on as well while I'm waiting, and it showed this because I did it before I even started filming today. I removed a bunch of stickers, decals I had on my back windshield or back window, except for this one, Colorado one, because it's in the best shape out of all four of them. But I had a Batman and Superman one that are now, and a Foxhound one that are now gone. Maybe I'll find some better ones and put it on, but also just trying to make it look a little cleaner. So yeah, I also kind of polished up the backlights as well. Well, I haven't done this one yet, but this one will be next. Not that these normally need it, but I was scraping off some of the paint overspray from the last time I did this on here. Just trying to make it look a little better, although there is still plenty of overspray, which is easier to get off with the blade. Usually. Now the blade's stuck great. Woo! This thing's a sharp. Okay. You guys will. Little dots. When I tried this 2 years ago without doing any research, I just thought, oh, I could spray paint these spots and it'll look fine, and then it looked terrible. So it's getting nicking into it, which is kind of a problem. I might have to get some sandpaper or something. Okay, time to go on with coat number 3, 2.5 or something. I don't know. So you can get these spots a little more blended in than they are. Okay, so I did one last coat off camera, but I think this is really going to be the best I'm going to be able to get at this point without, yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's looking good. It's definitely blended in more with the paint that's there. Although I think I ended up painting over a lot of the door anyway. Well, whatever. So now it's time for clear coat. Yeah. Let's see. See, not perfect, obviously, but it does look better than it did because I don't have like the peeling. I mean, you can kind of see it if you really look close, but otherwise, like, yeah, not bad. And you couldn't have picked a better day to do it, or I couldn't have picked a better day to do it because it's literally about 50 degrees and not windy. The days I did like prepping this were very windy and cold. So today's been pretty good, actually. So yeah, we'll do the clear coat, a couple coats of that. We'll let that dry, and then I'll let it cure like a day or two, and then we'll sand it and polish it. We don't sand after the painting part, just the clear coat. So here we go. Okay, last round of clear coat. Yeah, so I'll let that cure overnight, and then I'll go over it with some wet sanding tomorrow, polish it a bit. So there we go. There's that done. Okay, here we are one day later. So what I'm doing here is I'm soaking my sandpaper and the sponge in this case that I'm going to attach them all to. This is already kind of spongy. This is 1200 grit because we're going to wet sand wet sand it. And I don't have my lab mic this time because the battery died on it and I didn't realize it. So if there's audio issues, you can't really hear me on the other parts, that would be why. So I've already sprayed, like took this and sprayed it and everything, but in the Chris Fix video it says to get soapy water as he says, and spray down the area. you'll be sanding. He also says to tape off the areas you don't want to sand. Yeah, you can kind of hear the roughness of the clear coat. So that's what we're doing, is we're going to wet sand the clear coat. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do next. Time lapse, baby. Okay, so if you look closely, you can see the places where I've sanded. You kind of see that that kind of gets white and smudgy and things like that. That's a clear coat. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next grit. I think we're gonna move on to 2000 grit, I think is what we have next. Yep, 2000. So, all right, let's do it. And try not to drop in the dirt. And it's important to add, you not do this on the last step, but you need to spray everything down between sanding steps, wipe it. So that's what we're doing now, before we move on to the next one. All this. Okay, so again, go with it. Okay, wait, wait, wait. spray it again, and clean it. And then we get to buff it with some compound polish. I did kind of touch up some of my sanding work over here. I sub it over with the 10,000 just to kind of, I don't know. There's a couple rough spots over here, not that you can tell from that distance, but yeah. Anyway, so next, as I said, polish. Okay, so now we polish. I just got some turtle wax polishing compound, and the same thing I use for sanding, but it has a polishing attachment to it. So put it all over here, and then what I want to do is I want to go through and manually just like rub it in. This unfortunately doesn't have different speed options, so you just want to keep moving either way. But yeah, so we'll just start here, and I'll have to do this a couple times probably to get everywhere. But I'll get up here. Just get the whole panel, why not? We're here. Do that for the door too in a minute. It's very messy too. Okay, that done, we can take a dry clean washcloth, microfiber this one is, and wipe off the polishing compound. Change the view here. Okay. So this is by no means perfect or without flaws. This is not from this time. This is from when I tried to do this without doing any studying on this stuff 2 years ago. But yeah, certainly not without its flaws. My second time doing this, first time was over here. But compared to what it was, it is better and at a distance. And in darkness, you can't really tell. But it's only like when you get up close to here. Obviously, that was when, I don't know, the paint started doing this, basically, right here. And I tried wiping it off, but then it just left like a layer, like a ledge there. Paint doesn't completely cover, it feels like in some places, but overall, for a 23-year-old car, almost, it's an 03. You could do a lot worse, and you're not spending so much money on getting it detailed and repainted at a shop. So at least for now, you know, the benefit is it looks better overall. The rust spots are gone, so you know it's got new clear coat on it, new paint to protect it from further damage. Next is probably the hood. This will just be a sand, and I mean there's a couple of rust spots here. I don't know how crazy I need to go with those, but I think it's very thin metal here. But you know, probably repaint this, and up here try to figure out how to pull this stupid dent out, but it's proving to be more trouble than I like. So anyway, yeah, that's basically it for this one. If you like this, subscribe for more, and check out my main channel at the Seamus Aaron, and follow me on Twitch. I do Twitch sometimes, stream sometimes. Just clean up. See, like I said, that stuff gets everywhere. So, thanks. Peace.